Hello, I'm your mentor Ben McDowell, and the purpose of this channel is to scale you to 10K per month in your coaching business, giving away what other business coaches teach in their paid programs. Candidly, my intention in giving you this business know-how is so that I can scale you to 10K per month and past that to 50K per month and automate the whole thing using free intro events and appointment setters, so you avoid all the things you hate doing, like posting loads of content that no one ever looks at or engages with, without sending out loads of cold DMs to strangers who never even read them. In the modern online coaching business space, there is a lot of talk about hustle and grind. Have you ever heard someone say that? It's interesting, right? They're half right that it's important to hustle, it's important to grind. You do need to put in the work in order to achieve a specific result, but that is only half the battle. Without the other half, you still have nothing. So let's dive into that a little bit. Movement without direction is just movement. The likelihood of progress being made is zero. The same goes for direction without movement is just direction. It's just an attitude. At the end of the day, you need to have direction and you need to have movement to get to a destination. As humans, we all innately have the ability to create movement. We all have the ability to set a direction, but we don't always get to our destination. In other words, there is always hustle and grind and there is always intention, but there's not always achievement. So Jim Rohn says, don't confuse movement with achievement. You might be doing figure eights. What I've noticed is that direction is the real key to creating a 7-figure coaching business. I attribute a huge amount of the $800,000 in sales I've made in the last 2.5 years. I've done it as a one-man band. Only recently I actually hired a team. I had a mentor. I always had a mentor, and I never tried to do it alone. I would never recommend someone try to do this alone unless you want it to take 10 times longer. You see, in order to become successful, it's more about having a system that works and refining that system. Strategies are so important than simply just working hard or having intention. So you need to ask yourself, what is the number one thing I can do today that will move the needle in my business? And start building systems and strategies that create the leverage that will create the results. Have you ever been in a room, just a random metaphor, where there's just a fly buzzing around, with no direction on where it's going? And it's like this fly, you just see it dead on the counter or on the ground somewhere. And all it did in its life was just buzzing around. And it just gravitated towards garbage, and it never even landed anywhere nice. They seem to have lots of movement but little direction, so the results they create are not really what they would like. Whereas on the other hand, there are spiders. And we all know what spiders feed on. They have an intelligent strategy, and they seem to live much longer. They put their movement, their effort into building a web, a system that catches all of their food for them and allows them to have an advantage over the other bugs in the area. You want to be the spider in the industry who builds the web, positions themselves, and you just sit back and relax and let your food come to you. The first place to build your web in order to scale to 10K a month as a coach all the way past 7 figures is by systemizing your client acquisition processes using free intro events and appointment setters that book appointments for you at scale. If you want to learn how I do this in my business and what I teach, that literally in the last 48 hours, these are all sales calls. Boom. Hot lead, hot lead, hot lead, hot lead, hot lead. These are 14 sales calls in the last 24 hours. And I'll tell you right now, we've only just started applying this thing, because if you look at last week, there was only 5 sales calls. Look at this week, 14 in a 2-day period. If you want to learn how I do this in my business and what I teach all of my students in my 6-month full-time coach mastermind, check out the video featured on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy that walkthrough. It's absolute fire. It will give you everything you need to succeed. Peace.